Greetings! Been insanely busy lately working on a book. If you want proof of how incredibly stupid and ignorant academia is as to what is magnetism, there's an article below from a couple days ago, and talks about a phenomena that's been observed for years, where if you shoot a laser, which is point source illumination, and an extremely thin magnet for the first 20 trillionths of a second, the magnetic field disappears. And they notice using a very fine magnetometer that the magnetic field will vanish and reappear kind of like a liquid. The liquid observation of the field dissipation and returning is not the important thing. You see, they think this is completely fascinating and a total mystery. It absolutely confuses the hell out of them. Let me adjust this light just a little bit here. They think it's totally bizarre. They have no idea that magnetism is the dielectric field. When you actually take a point source illumination, in this case a laser, and shoot it at that really, really thin magnet, what happens is that you give it a dielectric charge for, as they say, the first 20 trillionths of a second, I believe, and the magnetic field vanishes. And then, of course, it reappears as the charge dissipates. Both a laser and a magnet have something in common. Both of them are point source incommensurable emanations. In the case of laser, we think of laser as a coherent radiation. That's a posterior attribute in actually describing a laser. What actually defines a laser is point source. It's also what defines a magnet. And of course, before a magnet becomes a magnet, it's exactly the same. There is no change in the quantitative nature of a magnet before it becomes a magnet and after it becomes a magnet. The only thing that actually is manifest is point source, which becomes multiplicative field phenomena. But when you actually shoot that really thin magnet with the laser, you actually completely overthrow magnetism, which is the loss of inertia that actually defines what magnetism is. Magnetism is literally the dielectric field. It's the conjugate geometries of force and motion, inertia, and acceleration. Everything is capacitance, resistance, magnetic permeability, and dielectric permittivity. The explanation for this, if you actually have a key or a legend as to what cosmic mechanics are, and it is extremely simple. It's force and motion, inertia and acceleration, centrifugal divergence, centripetal convergence, capacitance, resistance, magnetic permeability, dielectric permittivity. Really, really simple. Ultimately, it just means pressure mediation. No different than, say, when you pull the plug on your drain, it flows downhill, water flows downhill. Charge and discharge. They're absolutely confounded by this. They consider it a spooky mystery. They have no idea what magnetism is. They love to talk about spin, and they love to talk about magnetic moment. But when you actually talk about spin, it's absolutely no different than talking about waves, because scientists love to talk about a lot of different things. But they love to talk about spin, and they love to talk about waves. But there's no such thing as spin, and there's no such thing as waves, because these are not what things are. These are what things do. Spin of what? Spin. Magnetic spin. Spin of what? Magnetic spin. Waves. Waves of what? Waves. Waves of what? Waves. Waves of what? It's like an Abbott and Costello. Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know's on third. I don't know if you know that old comedy bit. This is literally how stupid academia is. Check out the link below for the article on this confounding mystery to academia. Oh my God, when you shoot a really thin magnet with a laser, the magnetic field vanishes, and then it reappears. But it reappears in a type of liquid-like they don't know actually what's happening. They don't understand that magnetism is the dielectric field. This is the conjugate geometry, the ultimate, absolute, ultimate foundation of all cosmic mechanics is the toroidal and the hyperboloidal geometry of force and motion, inertia, and acceleration, of capacitance and the loss of that capacitance, as manifest in magnetism. The only reason why the universe has mass and magnitude is due to magnetism and magnetism only. what holds up the air inside each and every atom, if you will. And of course, we were all taught this BS in school. It's not BS, not this particular part. That each and every atom in the universe is 99.999999999% empty space. In other words, an atom is like a super gigantic balloon with like a couple really, really, really tiny marbles inside right at the core. Now, they think that, ultimately this atomic radius in measured in picometers it's like this arbitrary space. No, each and every atom is a dynamo, and that volume, or the air inside the balloon, if you will, is magnetism. That's the reason why anything has mass and magnitude, is due to magnetism. When you actually shoot that really thin magnet with a powerful dielectric pulse perturbation, i.e. coherent point source light, i.e. a laser, you completely overthrow magnet. You give that super thin magnet a dielectric charge, and then all of a sudden, all magnetism vanishes. Explaining that phenomena that is a mystery to these academic dumbasses is incredibly simple. But to be able to explain it and understand it, and it does not take a lot of wits to understand. You actually have to have a key. The legend of, it's kind of like the Rosetta Stone. In other words, you're never going to understand Egyptian hieroglyphics without, having the primer by which to comprehend these things. But that primer, that Rosetta Stone, that key, that legend for cosmic mechanics is really, really, really simple. Force of motion, inertia, and acceleration. Magnetism is a dielectric field. Everything is either centrifugal divergence or centripetal convergence, and this conjugate geometry of force and motion, inertia, and acceleration, respectively, the torus, i.e. the donut shape, and the hyperboloid, the hourglass shape. The negative image of an hourglass shape is a torus, i.e. a donut shape. The negative image of a torus is a hyperboloid, i.e. an hourglass shape. Those are the mere field geometries of inertia and the loss of inertia, of space and counter space. Space is only the after effect of a centrifugal divergent magnetic field. Mother Nature is extremely simple, but humanity is literally that damn stupid. We think we're really, really intelligent because we got TV sets and computers and, Lamborghinis and all that fancy shit like supercomputers. Human beings are not that intellectually evolved. Sure we are, man. Look at this complex electronic crap. That stuff is nice. Even I appreciate it, but that doesn't mean humanity actually knows anything about field phenomena, because they don't. So check the article below. And I'm sorry I did a close-up. People complain, I don't like seeing your face close up. That's too close. You're too ugly up close. Like, deal with it. I'm really busy today.